Blizzard Entertainment is the creator of the popular video game World of Warcraft, or WoW. One of the most striking aspects of this game is the tremendous amount of user participation encouraged by Blizzard. 7.8 million people play WoW, and the community surrounding this game is enormous in both scope and participation. While this particular service is a video game, not a library, many of the participatory aspects of the game could potentially be adopted and adapted by libraries to meet their own services and communities. I'm going to take you on a whirlwind tour of participatory offerings both within WoW itself and also external sites that are completely user-created. While you're viewing these examples, think about how they could be modified and used by libraries. I believe that many of them can be. So first, let's start with the basic interface. I'm going to log into the game here. Okay, right from within the game, there is a help menu. You can do a number of things from here. If you find a problem with the game, you can submit a bug report. You can submit a suggestion if you have an idea of how to improve or change the game. You can open a ticket for help from a game master or GM. You would do that for something like if you accidentally delete an item that you really didn't want to delete, they can help you restore it. You can also report people. If someone chooses to take a name for their character that is offensive, you can report them, or if someone is spewing hate speech in the chat channels, you can report them. For the most part, WoW is largely uncensored, but they do crack down on racist speech and other types of hate speech in the game to keep it a comfortable place for everyone. There's a wealth of ways to communicate with other people playing the game. You have a friends list. I'll show you that here. So I've got 2 friends online at the moment. This one is my boyfriend Tim. I am going to right-click and say whisper, and you can see that a chat window opens up down here. And I'm going to say hi. And he's going to type back to me here. There we go. So this is a way that you can chat with people directly in-game. If you want to talk with someone in-game who doesn't happen to be online at the moment, you can find a mailbox. I'm actually going to create a mailbox right here. I'm an engineer in-game, which lets me create fun things. So I just created a mailbox. I can click on it. I can check my incoming mail, and also I can send mail out to people. Many people also choose to join a guild. This is a grouping of people who like to play with each other for whatever reason. Guilds can form for a number of reasons. Many of them form around specific interests within the game, such as there are guilds that like to enter dungeons and kill game-generated monsters as a team. Or there's also guilds that prefer to play in battlegrounds, and in battlegrounds you're playing against other player-controlled characters. There are LGBT-based guilds, there are religious affiliation guilds, you name it. People are free to create guilds based on whatever interests they may have. Here's the guild pane, and if I click on this roster tab here, I can see everyone who's logged into my guild right now. And if I wanted to, I could type into guild chat, and everyone in my guild who's online could see that at the same time and respond to me and join in. It's basically like a chat room. There's also numerous ways to find people to play with in-game, even if you don't know anyone yet or simply don't have any friends online at the moment. So as I've been talking, you've probably noticed there's been a bunch of text scrolling by in the lower left here. These are people talking in general channels, which can be seen by anyone who's in the same area as you. They can say anything they like in here. They can look for a group to go accomplish a goal in-game that they're after. Or they can say, hey, I run this guild, who wants to join? Or they can say, hey, I'm looking for a guild. Pretty much anything they want. There's also a wonderful tool in-game called the Dungeon Finder. You can sign up for an event in the Dungeon Finder and you'll be put on a wait list. As soon as enough other people have signed up for the same event, you'll automatically be ported into that event where you play it out with the other random attendees. And of course, if you had a great time playing with any of them, you can add them to your friends list so you can always find them and play with them again in the future. What I've shown you so far, this is just the basics. We're just getting started as to user participation and community building within the game. Now I'm going to start covering the stuff where WoW just goes off the charts when it comes to participatory services. First of all these controls that you see here on my screen down at the bottom, buttons on the right side, this little map and controls, this is called the interface. These buttons let me access all of the things that I can do within the game. And here's one of the amazing things about this game. If you're not happy with what the basic vanilla interface does, the vanilla interface is what's provided by Blizzard, you can modify it. Blizzard has made an API available so that anyone, anywhere, who knows or wants to learn a programming language called Lua, that's spelled L-U-A, can write an add-on for the interface, which can change the way it displays things or extend the functionality or both. Well, great, you might say, I'm not a programmer, I don't have time to figure out how to write an add-on. That's just fine, because there's plenty of people out there who have already written them for you, and there's a number of websites where you can get them from for free. You can add add-ons to WoW with a simple download and a file copy to the correct directory on your computer. So I'm going to show you an example of an add-on. I can open up all of my bags and look at my inventory. These are all items that I have on my character. But let's say I want to make a silk shirt. And I have 7 other characters in-game. I know that one of them has silk in their inventory, but I can't remember who it is. With the vanilla interface, I would have to log off of this character, log on to each of them individually, and search through all of my bags for silk. I didn't like that, so I went and got an add-on called Uber Inventory. Using this add-on, I can choose to look at the inventory on all of my characters at once. I can use a search box to look for silk, and now I can say, oh cool, I've got 12 bolts of silk cloth, and look, they're on the character named Lassica. So now I can just log off, get on Lassica, collect that silk, send it to this character. Much easier. That's just one example of an add-on. There are thousands of add-ons out there that do a number of things for the interface, and they're all available for free from a number of different websites. Anyone can post an add-on on these sites, and anyone else can download it and use it. I'm going to show you a site right now. This is wowinterface.com, a popular add-on site. And take a look at this. I was just showing you an inventory add-on. Bags, Bank, and Inventory, 203 files. Chat mods, 288 files. Auction House, 66. This page goes on, and this is just one of the interface websites out there. There are so many add-ons. Another cool thing about add-ons, if one of them becomes very popular, Blizzard will often adopt it and they'll write it right into the vanilla interface. So there's a perfect example of how the user community can change or heavily influence how the game operates. Think about what you could do with that sort of functionality and a library catalog. Now that we're out here on the web, let's move outside the game for a little bit and check out the offerings that we have external to WoW. First, Blizzard provides discussion forums on their website. Many discussion forums. This page just goes on and on. Let's look at some of the ones just at the top. There's general discussion. There's a technical support forum. There's service status, so they can make announcements. Oh, hey, our servers are down for maintenance, or we're experiencing a bug. We're working on it. This one's important, the PTR discussion. That stands for Public Test Realm. Blizzard is always working on the next version of the game that's coming out. There is a test realm available that anyone who wants to can log into, try out the changes, submit feedback, make suggestions. Blizzard also transparently offers patch notes on the upcoming version. So you can always go check out this webpage, see what changes they're planning, make comments and suggestions on them. There is a Blizzard-run World of Warcraft fan page on Facebook, of course. Many of the VIPs and developers at Blizzard maintain Twitter accounts so they can communicate directly with their fans. Here's Chris Metzen. He's the senior vice president of Blizzard, and he's twittering away with all of his fans. Blizzard also occasionally hosts contests. They have a monthly comic contest where there's various prizes offered if you're picked as the winner. There was also an art contest a little bit ago, And that produced an amazing addition to the game, which I will show you in just a moment here. We are going to be logging into an event called the Dark Moon Fair. This fair is in town it's in town for a week, once a month. Fortunately, happened to be the week that I was getting ready to record this presentation. And Blizzard held this art contest, and a graphics art student submitted an entry to be added to the Dark Moon Fair. Now, if you look around at the ambiance of this place, dark sky, big eyeball looking around. It's a very kind of creepy, demented, twisted feeling fair. It's really fun. And this art student said, hey, why didn't you guys ever build a carousel for it? And here's the entry that this student submitted. So here's a great example of users contributing to not only the community, but the game content itself. And by the way, this entry won. Blizzard also gets involved with charity and relief efforts. They regularly announce sales of in-game pets, with all the proceeds going to the big tuition station. They contributed about $2 million from pet sales to relief funds for both the Japanese tsunami in 2011 and Hurricane Sandy in 2012. But wait, there's more. So far I've just talked about what Blizzard does. But it's not just Blizzard that creates WoW-related sites and helps build the community. The players themselves have generated an enormous amount of content surrounding the game and done a tremendous job of growing the community all on their own. Think about that for a second. If you have a successful enough service, your fans will grow it and extend it on their own with no budget or resources required from you. How awesome could that be for a library? As an example, a few examples here. Many guilds maintain their own forum discussion websites. This is the guild that I play with in WoW. And we talk about everything on this forum, from game strategies to who's getting married. So you can see there's a couple, we even talk about other games like Diablo. World of Logs is an important fan-run site. When you're playing in-game, if you're fighting against a monster, you can take a log of your combat that records every action made by you and your companions. And what you can do is port that combat log out into this website. It will analyze it and tell you what happened. This is a great way to figure out mistakes if you're losing the fight and how to improve your gameplay. Also, there are tons of WoW-related YouTube videos out there. One of the most popular types are how-to videos. So here I searched for a Mercius how-to. A Mercius is a monster in-game that many guilds are fighting right now. And if you want to get strategies for how to beat him, you can come look at all these how-to guides on how to fight and win against a Mercius. There is an online database called Wowhead. This database is amazing. It contains an entry for every single item and event in-game, complete with a commenting system. So if you can go read other users' comments, you can submit your own. If there's some item that's maybe tricky or hard to get, people post comments on tricks and tips for how to get that item. Really cool resource. There's also Wowpedia. This is essentially Wikipedia with a WoW-based theme. There are so many fan blogs and podcasts out there, I couldn't even begin to cover them all. But here's a very popular one, a blog site called WoW Insider. They have weekly class guides for how to play the various classes in WoW. They've got neat daily features. One of my favorites is WoW Movie Watch. There are tons of fan-created movies about WoW, or using the graphics of WoW, or both, and they feature one every day in WoW Movie Watch. There's also weekly features such as how to deal with drama in-game, how to run a guild, all kinds of interesting and useful information in WoW Insider. There's also fan pages that cover very specific aspects of the game. For example, this is a pet page called warcraftpets.com. It was started by a player called Briani, and This page helps you can collect pets, vanity pets in Warcraft, and you can also battle with them. So you can take 3 of your pets and have a pet battle fight with another player against 3 of their pets. And Brianni has created this website that helps you track your collection, learn about pet abilities, etc. There's tons of sites like this out there honing in on specific aspects of the game. I think probably there's more created every single day. Not only are these fan sites all out there, but Blizzard does a very good job of expressing appreciation and support of them. And in fact, numerous times they have given nods to players who have contributed to the community in this way. I'm going to show you an example of that. So we were just looking at Brianni's Warcraft Pets page, and we're going to the city of Dalaran here, and we're outside a shop called the Magical Menagerie. We're going to run into the shop, and here is a non-player character called
Salutations!
Brianni.
Hi, how are you?
And she sells pet supplies. So this was a wonderful acknowledgement to Brianni for the work that she has done in the community.
Goodbye for now.
Blizzard has also provided a number of memorials in-game to honor both fans and employees who have passed on. The memorials tend to be right there in plain sight in the game, but it's often not obvious it's a memorial in order to not disrupt the flow of the game. But once you know the stories behind them, it's both heartbreaking to hear their tales and heartwarming to know that they're immortalized in the game that they loved. So here's one example. This character that we're looking at here is called a Tauren. It's basically a humanoid cow. And male Taurens tend to have these deep, booming voices. I'm going to do something that makes the character talk so you can hear it.
Moo, are you happy now?
So that's what male Taurens tend to sound like. However, if you're running around, you come across this Tauren non-player character, and his voice is different.
Will you help me find my dog?
It just doesn't sound like a normal male Tauren voice. Here's the story. In 2006, there was a 10-year-old boy named Ezra Chatterton. Ezra had brain cancer, and his prognosis wasn't good. He wanted to be a game designer when he grew up. And through the Make-A-Wish Foundation,
I miss my dog so much.
he got to visit Blizzard headquarters and design a quest with the help of the Blizzard developers. He created this character that you're seeing
traveler.
here, Ahab Wheathoof. Ahab has a quest for you.
Greetings, traveler.
Called Kyle's Gone Missing. For this quest, Ahab has a pet dog, Kyle, who is lost. Your task is to find Kyle, feed him, and bring him back to Ahab. Kyle was based on Ezra's own dog, and the voice that you're hearing from Ahab is
The
Ezra's.
winds guide you. Greetings, traveler.
Ezra passed away on October 20th, 2008, and the outpouring from the community was tremendous.
Where is that dog?
Ahab Wheathoof and the quest that he gives are in the Wowhead database, and if you go look up the entries on them, there are hundreds of comments from people who cared about this little boy, whether they knew him or not. Tons of people created Tauren characters just to go do this quest in honor of him, and to this day I know people that will not pass by Ahab without bowing to him or saluting him.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Ezra is perhaps the most heart-wrenching memorial that I know of, but there are many others as well scattered throughout the game, both of the players who love this amazing world and the developers who helped create it. What an awesome way for Blizzard to honor their community. Everything I've covered so far has been virtual or technology-based. However, to conclude, I want to briefly touch on BlizzCon. About every 2 years, Blizzard hosts a convention for the fans in Anaheim, California. Somewhere between 20,000 to 30,000 people attend. I got to go for the first time ever this past November, and it was amazing. There was an opening ceremony where they announced the next expansion that will be coming out for WoW, and to sit in an audience of over 20,000 excited, cheering fans when that announcement was made, I don't even know how to describe how that felt. There were panel discussions on every aspect of the game, from music to voice acting to lore and character development. There was a costume contest and a movie contest. There were live in-game tournaments where the best players in the world faced off against each other while everyone watched. There were hundreds of computers set up where people could play the new expansion and see it firsthand for themselves. And throughout the whole event, the VIPs of Blizzard and game developers constantly circulated amongst the fans and were highly available to talk to. Here's a picture of me and my boyfriend Tim with Mike Morhaime, the president of Blizzard. He was simply hanging out in the lobby of a hotel at one of the after parties, waiting to talk to any fans who wished to meet him. Just amazing. So there you have it, a condensed overview of the participatory services in and surrounding the world's most popular video game. I could probably go on for a couple more hours, but I've taken enough of your time. I truly can't think of any other enterprise in this world that has this level of community participation and this level of success. This is proof that this model can be very, very successful. 7.8 million subscribers. Libraries can only hope for that kind of participation, but we can get there. I feel that librarians can learn from this model and adapt it for their own worlds.